Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside Gaming. It's the weekend. Brian's called away on some secret government business we're not allowed to talk about. Every time he comes back, he spends a day alone in a dark room saying nothing. Then he pops back out as regular old Brian, and we're happy to have him. We don't question it. On to the news! Speaking of not questioning things that should probably actually be questioned, the Gambling Commission in the UK reported to members of Parliament this week they do not oversee loot box mechanics in video games, essentially saying that they do not consider them to be gambling in the first place.
Boo!
Yeah, well, hold on, viewer. There is a upside here, but we'll get there. So they're using the same defense that everyone always uses. There's no way to convert your winnings back into money, at least not officially. And that's basically what makes it not gambling. You can't win money on the tail end for putting money into the system. Despite that, Gambling Commission program with an E, by the way, because this is British, Program Director Brad Enright admitted that there is unquestionably a demand for a secondary market, and that FIFA developer publisher Electronic Arts faces, quote, a constant battle against such services. He's talking about like third-party websites where you can buy and sell figures directly. On top of that, Gambling Commission Chief Executive Neil MacArthur voiced, quote, significant concerns that children were playing games that have gambling elements in them. He went on to explain that, quote, there are other examples of things that look and feel like gambling that legislation tells you are not, such as some prize competitions, but because they have free play or free entry, they are not gambling, but they are a lot like a lottery. Enright went even a step beyond that, mentioning that, quote, it's not enough to say we don't want this happening, and that, quote, we think Valve in the US should do more when it comes to fighting third-party betting and transaction websites for Counter-Strike Global Offensive. So it's interesting to note here that neither Enright nor MacArthur say they agree with the current state of affairs. Just that, according to existing regulations, loot boxes can't be classified as gambling and thus are beyond their regulatory jurisdiction. It's actually kind of interesting. We're in a weird spot right now. Conventional wisdom would say that money is the most valuable thing in the world. It's the best prize you can get for gambling. What's more valuable than money, after all? But the way loot boxes work is a new kind of economy. Video games get people invested to the point that random drops are more valuable than money, to them at least. That's why you see some CSGO skins and stickers selling for over $1,000. If they could just buy them, they would. So it's about relative value, but you know, lawmakers haven't caught up there. Lawmakers created our current definition of gambling at a time before any of this existed, so it's taking some time for the system to adjust. And it's getting there, albeit very slowly. Welcome to the world. Not everything is instant out there like it is on the internet, but there are some rumblings everywhere that the tide is starting to turn. So that's good news, right, Aaron?
Why can't it be like on the internet where everything's just instant?
People have to come to an agreement. I can retweet anything I want when I do it by myself, but when people got to talk about things like the color of a show, things get messy.
All right, fine. Tell me about a Missouri senator.
I'd love to, and it's not Montana. We figured that one out. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley introduced legislation a month ago to the U.S. Congress to regulate the use of loot box mechanics in games targeting minors. It hasn't come up for a vote yet, not to mention the legislation itself doesn't clearly define what a game meant for minors is. But that's the whole point of this process, and also why it takes a little while, is to figure out all the details so we know what's acceptable and what isn't, according to the letter of the law. Until then, we'll keep getting watchdog agencies more or less saying they wish they could do something about it, but can't, since there's no official way to turn your winnings back into money on the tail end of the exchange. But here's some amusing timing. Both Enright and MacArthur spoke on the matter in a hearing that occurred one day before Rockstar Games announced they were straight up putting a casino into Grand Theft Auto Online. So that's actual for real gambling, again with the catch that you cannot turn GTA dollars back into US dollars, at least not officially. So we'll have to deal with loot boxes for a little while longer. But maybe there's another scourge of modern gaming that's finally dying. Fortnite, right? We've been waiting.
Yeah,
we've been oppressed.
Kill it.
Yes, we hate popular things. So data aggregation site GetHype reports that Fortnite's Season 9 finale didn't even rank in the game's top 10 highest viewed events on Twitch. Which, all right, I get it. Fortnite's popular, we all hate it, kids do stupid dances, whatever. I'm gonna be honest here, that's confusing because this event sounds amazing as hell. Fortnite players server-wide momentarily put down their pickaxes and stupid dances to watch a giant mech and a kaiju monster fight inside the game, concluding with the mech stabbing the damn kaiju right through the head, and then he flossed, that's not a joke, and then flew into space.
Yeah, also at one point the monster ripped off one of the mech's arms, which was really kind of cool. I really liked it.
And then the monster had to floss with one arm. Yeah. So they basically added a Pacific Rim event or Power Rangers if you're into the classics. Whatever your flavor, that's rad as shit. I'm sorry, but apparently not rad enough to drag back all the Zoomers who are out there vaping Adderall and not getting their driver's licenses, apparently. Good Hype notes that similar events have also had massive viewership fall-off, such as the recent Celebrity Pro-Am that saw a 72% drop in viewers compared to last year's event. But here's the fun part. Last year's Pro-Am Championship, that event set the all-time record on Twitch at 1.5 million concurrent viewers. It blew the last one out of the water, I think, at 1.1. So, despite the impressive sounding decline in viewership, Fortnite is still easily the #1 game on Twitch, even if its lead is starting to slide a little bit. So loot boxes aren't gambling, and Fortnite is still the king of video games. Rough headlines so far. We need something to brighten the mood a little bit.
All right. Well, how about rumors of a sequel to a game everyone forgot about?
Okay, wait, which one are you talking about? Because there's two of them.
So this is an interesting question. Which one do you think I'm talking about?
All right, well, Sega trademarked Knight's Dream Wheel in Japan, meaning Knights is back! Knights!
No, not that one.
What do you mean? Everyone loves Knights. Remember?
No, Alan Wake 2!
Come on! Knights! There's a gesture and you flip around and you get gems. Everyone loves it. Alright, fine. Speaking to IGN, Alan Wake lead writer Sam Lake, which is a really interesting combination of words, straight up said, quote, "I want to make it," when asked about Alan Wake 2. Apparently IP rights aren't an issue, which has been confusing in years past. Remedy still owns Alan Wake and could make it if everything aligned, but that's the main issue beyond just running and hitting the big make game button that's in the lobby of every game development studio that we know about it, we've seen it. Lake described that just making a sequel isn't that simple, saying, quote, "At this point, so much time has passed. I feel the bar is higher in some ways. It needs to be done right if it's ever done. Everything needs to click into place, which is really hard to make it happen. So many things for these big games need to be greenlit, need to be aligned, but I'm hoping that someday." I am too. I think all of us here probably really remember Alan Wake. I'm looking at Omar, seems like his kind of game. Okay, nod of approval. If I'm being honest though, I kind of really like Remedy doing other projects too. Quantum Break was really good, and Control looks awesome. And I'm gonna throw this out there. Let's be honest, did anyone really know what was going on in Alan Wake? I mean, it seemed like it was a whole allegory for the creative writing process. Like his wife was his muse, but was stolen away by a demon, and he had to finish his book.
Lawrence, I gotta be honest, I think most people just stopped at it's fun to shoot scary monsters.
That's a good point. Now we need to confront some scary monsters of our own. I'm sorry to say, last week our channel was rocked by scandal. Brian, our resident expert on all things Dragon Quest, was not included in our formal review of Dragon Quest Builders 2. According to the controversy, the 5-second review for last week's Roundup was also supposed to be Dragon Quest Builders 2, and viewers were instead treated to a 5-second shot of Brian's old empty chair, so that's twice we... It was pretty funny. So come on, Aaron. I'm trying to be serious here. People are mad.
Sorry.
They demanded Brian Gar represent Dragon
Right.
Quest. Thank you.
Go ahead, continue.
This is important. So this week, even though Brian's still out of the office on vacation, we wanted to make sure you all had the chance to get his expert opinion on the game. We interrupted Brian's family vacation to bring you this 5-second review. So without further ado, let us make good for our audience. Thank you, Brian, and thank you, Inside Gaming fans. I hope we can move past this. You know, it's enough to stew in hatred and resentment. It's not good for the soul. So you'll always be the wind beneath our wings. May us soar to new heights. And from our bird's eye view, we can get a look at all the games coming out next week. So here's what we got coming up. First, porting over to the Switch, it's Mutant Year Zero: Road to Eden. It's the end of the world. All the humans are gone, and taking their place are the mutants. You and your companions will need to explore, scavenge, and fight to stay alive if you hope to find the mythical Eden. The game combines tactical turn-based combat with real-time stealth and exploration. And there are pig people, so there's that. It's coming out for Switch on July 30th. I'm interested in that one. It's like XCOM plus stealth. It's neat. And the 2D open world game Forager, you'll collect and manage resources, craft items, and build a base out of nothing. You'll also solve puzzles, find secrets, raid dungeons, and level up as you explore, farm, and kill baddies. It sounds like they just jammed every video game into one. It's inspired by games like Stardew Valley, Terraria, and Zelda, so if you're a fan of those games, you'll probably want to give this one a gander. It's been out on PC for a little while now, but it's coming to PS4 and Switch on July 30th. Morphe's Law is a 3D shooter where you take control of a morphing robot called a Morphe. As Morphe mutilates other Morphes, it gets more massive and more mortifying. Meanwhile, the mass of Morphes getting murdered minimizes, making it much more manageable to make a momentary move for moderate safety in the more minuscule Morphe. This mechanic maximizes moderation among members of multiple masteries. With multiple maps, many mighty almost made it. With multiple maps, many mighty armaments, and modifiable morphes, we might maybe mention this magnetism morphes law manifests. It's releasing on PC on July 30th. That was a good one, Aaron. I like that.
Well done, Lord Sontag.
I mean, I biffed it once, but hey, man, we got through it. Whatever. In the Executioner, you are a man who must get a signed confession by any means necessary from those you're about to put to death, all while trying to stay sane. It fuses elements of traditional RPGs with investigation, exploration, and moral decision-making, and the devs say the interface is predominantly text-based with a story that lasts about 20 hours. This one is definitely a dark one, but if you're interested, you can pick it up on PC on July 31st. And porting over from the PlayStation Portable and the PS Vita, it's London Detective Mysteria. In this visual novel, you play as Lady Emily Whiteley, though you can change the first name for a more immersive experience. Some of Emily's suitors include Sherlock Holmes, that's right, Herlock, not Sherlock, Jean Lupin, and Jack the Ripper, because, of course, that's kind of creepy. Jack the Ripper is a romance option. I guess true crime's all the rage now. Everyone's hot on Ted Bundy, so why not? You can grab this one on PC on July 31st. Collapsed is a post-apocalyptic roguelike action platformer where you'll fight through procedurally generated levels while you hunt down your prey. There are 4 hunters to choose from, each one with its own unique combat style and abilities, but you don't have to hunt alone, as this game supports 2-player online co-op. It's coming on August 1st for PC. Forged of Blood is a tactical RPG that claims to be, quote, pushing the boundaries of depth and mechanical complexity for the modern turn-based tactical RPG, end quote. The game, open quote, puts players in the middle of a civil war in a morally gray fantasy world, end quote, and also states that it is, open quote, a game of hard decisions and harsher consequences, end quote. Your choices will determine the fate of your kingdom and the future of your people. That sounds like a lot of responsibility, kind of like Frostpunk, just go to bed shivering and sad. That's always a good time. You can pick this one up for PC on August 1st. And in the dark sci-fi adventure game Lightstep Chronicles, you play as Captain Kane Phoenix. That's the coolest name I've ever heard.
I know, right?
Yeah, dude, I want to be that guy.
You can if you play Lightstep Chronicles.
Yeah, right? Oh, wait. Oh my god. This is like book 1 of 9 in the Lightstep Chronicles. You just find a dusty like paperback and half-price books, and you're like, it's $3, why not? And it ends up being awesome. I'm assuming a lot, haven't even finished the description yet. Anyway, you play as Captain Kane Phoenix, still awesome, who must save his abducted squad by communicating with a crashed alien ship's AI. The problem? The AI seems to be at war with itself. Interestingly, the game takes place in the universe of the Dark Horse comics series Lightstep and focuses on the thin line between humanity and artificial intelligence. It's coming out on PC on August 1st. That is 100% my shit. Based on the award-winning and genuinely fantastic cooperative board game of the same name, Pandemic is making its way to the Xbox One and the Switch. You and up to 3 other players must team up to save the world from 4 deadly diseases. Will you save the world, or will you end up yelling at each other about how best to save the world as everyone dies around you? Maybe both, probably both. Check it out on Xbox One and Switch on August 1st. This next game is called Hamsterdam, and according to the Steam description, it is, quote, an arcade brawler where you must become the hamster foo master to save the town of Hamsterdam. Will you be the hero the town needs? Will you defeat the whisker twister in chief, the vile chinchilla Marlowe? You bet your bushy tail! Do hamsters have bushy tails? They have fuzzy butts. Anyway, it's coming out on PC, Switch, Android, and iOS on August 1st. And it's time for another visual novel, because those are everywhere nowadays. It's great. Dry Drowning is an investigative thriller set in a dystopian futuristic universe. You play as an unscrupulous private detective haunted by his dark past, looking into a series of macabre serial killings that seem to be inspired by Greek mythology. The game boasts 150 story branches and 3 completely different endings. It's coming out on PC on August 2nd. I love the diversity of games we have now. It's everything, no matter what you're into.
Right? Like that's one of my favorite parts about doing this every week is that we get it. You may not every game is for you. That's okay. You'll find something in this list that you'll go, you know what, that piques my interest.
Amen, Aaron. Speaking of other games, in The Church in the Darkness, your nephew Alex has joined a cult and moved with him to a settlement town known as Freedom Town in the South American jungle. Holy hell, what a concept. You must sneak into the compound, find out what's going on, and decide if you need to save Alex. The game does have some replayability as it shifts personalities and motivations of the cult leaders during each playthrough, so that's kinda cool. You can check this one out on August 2nd on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. And finally this week, are you ready for some football? I'm always worried I'm gonna blow out the mics when I do that. I didn't sing it because I kinda just bellowed it, but I don't want to be Hank Williams Jr., you know, there's no competition there. I don't have the gut or the glasses, but anyway, another year, another Madden, he's back. This year, of course, you have the standard franchise mode where you can forge your legacy as a player, a coach, or an owner. There's also the Ultimate Team mode, which it calls, quote, the ultimate fantasy team building experience. So what, you do like trust falls at a camp in the woods? Actually sounds pretty cool. And in the story mode, you can create a star quarterback, dominate the college football playoffs, and make your way through the scouting and draft processes before signing with your team and hopefully establishing yourself as the face of your own franchise. Madden NFL 20 is coming out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One on August 2nd. Anyway, that'll do it. We're out of news for this week. Thank you for watching. Brian will be back next week, so make sure to make him feel welcome. And thank you for watching Inside Gaming. Bye, everybody.
It's Thursday, and there's a brand new Grand Theft Auto Online update that came out yesterday, but apparently a lot of people are still having problems.
Yeah, we spoke about it earlier in the week, but to quickly recap, it's called the Diamond Casino and Resort, and it's all about gambling.
Woo, yeah!
That move.
That's the dice, Adam. Come on. It's not really going to be a problem at all, right? Because it's gambling, and everybody knows about